Alex had always dreamed of leaving Earth, of traveling to far-off places, but he never expected it would happen this soon. He was an ordinary man, a young adventurer with a curiosity that couldn't be satisfied by books or the news. When the opportunity came to participate in an intergalactic exchange program, he jumped at the chance. It wasn't every day that a human was invited to meet alien species from across the galaxy. The day he arrived at the intergalactic meeting point, the excitement in the air was thick. Humans were still new to space diplomacy, and every encounter with an alien was like opening a book to a new chapter. The spaceport was buzzing with people of different species, each with their own unique traits. But what caught Alex's attention wasn't the colorful ships or the alien markets. It was her. She stood out among the crowd. An alien woman with pale, almost translucent skin, glowing softly under the bright lights of the station. Her hair was silver, flowing around her face like strands of moonlight. She wore a simple yet elegant outfit that was different from anything Alex had seen before. It looked delicate, almost ethereal, but still practical enough to fit her long, slender frame. Her name was Zara, and she was from a planet called Nyera, located light years away from Earth. The delegation from her planet had arrived to learn about human culture and to engage in peaceful exchange. However, Zara's mission was a little different. As part of the diplomatic team, she was tasked with studying human biology, and that meant she would spend the next few days with Alex. When they first met, Alex was struck by how alien Zara seemed. But there was also something oddly familiar about her. Maybe it was the way her eyes sparkled with curiosity, or the kindness in her voice when she spoke to him. Her species was vastly different from humans, yet she carried a warm, open energy that made him feel at ease. "Hello, Alex." Zara greeted him, her voice soft and melodic. "I am Zara, and I am honored to meet you." Alex smiled and extended his hand. "Nice to meet you, Zara. I'm excited to show you around." Zara nodded, but Alex noticed a flicker of hesitation in her eyes. It was as though she was studying him closely, her gaze lingering just a bit longer than what seemed normal. As the day unfolded, they spent time getting to know each other. Zara asked about Earth's history, culture, and the ways humans expressed emotions. Alex, in turn, asked about her planet and her people. From their conversations, Alex learned that Zara's species was very advanced, but their understanding of emotions was quite different from humans. Their culture emphasized logic and structure, leaving little room for the spontaneous expressions of love and passion that humans often showed. Alex found himself fascinated by her. Zara was intelligent, graceful, and her way of thinking was incredibly sharp. She absorbed information like a sponge, constantly asking questions and taking notes. The more they talked, the more he realized how much they had in common. They both sought knowledge. Both were curious about the unknown. However, as the evening wore on, Alex began to notice something strange. Zara seemed particularly interested in his body, in the way he moved, and how his emotions played out physically. It wasn't just the obvious differences, like the fact that she had no visible ears and her skin didn't tan in the sunlight, but it was the little things. Zara would look at his hands when he gestured, or glance at his face when he smiled. It was almost as if she was studying him for some scientific purpose. Later, when they sat down for dinner, Zara asked him a question that made Alex pause. "Alex," she began cautiously, "I've been learning about human biology, and there is something I do not understand. Your species, your body is very different from ours. You react differently to things. Could you explain why?" Alex blinked, caught off guard. He had expected many questions, but this was the first time Zara had directly brought up human physical differences. "I'm not sure I understand what you mean," he said slowly. Zara's eyes softened as she spoke. "I mean, your body. How it responds to emotions, to touch. It's unlike anything I've seen before. On my planet, we do not express emotions physically in the way humans do. We have different ways of connecting with one another." Alex could feel his face heat up. He wasn't sure how to respond. His biology was just a part of who he was. It wasn't something he often thought about. But Zara's curiosity seemed genuine, and it didn't feel like an invasion of privacy. In fact, it felt oddly comforting, as if she was simply trying to understand him better. Well, Alex started, humans ... We have physical reactions to our emotions. It's just part of being human. Like when we smile or laugh when we're happy, or when we blush when we're embarrassed. It's how we express what we feel inside. Zara nodded thoughtfully, her eyes never leaving his face. So your body shows what is inside, what you feel, Alex shrugged. In a way, yes. It's like an outward expression of what's happening in our minds. There was a long pause, and then Zara spoke again, her voice quieter this time. And what if someone were to experience these feelings for another person? Would their body react differently? Alex's heart skipped a beat. He wasn't sure where this conversation was going, but Zara's question hung in the air like a heavy cloud. He cleared his throat, trying to keep his voice steady. Well, I think it would. People's bodies react differently when they care about someone. Zara leaned in a little closer, her eyes filled with genuine curiosity. I see. It is fascinating ... Alex could tell that Zara's fascination wasn't just scientific. There was something more there, something that made him wonder about the nature of their connection. Was it just an exchange of knowledge, or was there something deeper beginning to form between them? Before he could think further, Zara stood up. Thank you for explaining, Alex. I look forward to learning more. The days passed quickly as Alex and Zara grew more comfortable with each other. Their bond deepened, and each day seemed to open new doors to understanding. Zara, despite her quiet and reserved nature, became more curious about human culture. She had already learned about Earth's history and traditions, but there was still so much more she wanted to know, and Alex was more than happy to share everything. He could. One morning, after a quick breakfast, Alex suggested they go for a walk around the human settlement. It wasn't far from the spaceport, but it offered a glimpse into everyday Earth life. Zara was eager to learn more about how humans lived, and Alex enjoyed showing her things he had taken for granted, things like the feel of grass underfoot, the warmth of the sun on his face, or the simple joy of watching a child laugh. They walked through the park. Zara asked about human families. On my planet, she said, we do not have families in the way you do. We are all part of a larger collective, bound by duty. But you ... humans seem to have many bonds. What is a family to you? Alex thought for a moment before replying. A family is, well, it's the people you care about. It's about love, trust, and support. Families are where you learn who you are, and they help you become the person you're meant to be. Zara nodded, her expression thoughtful. So love is at the center of these bonds? Yes, Alex answered. Love is what makes it all work. It's what keeps people together even when things are hard. Zara looked up at him, her gaze full of curiosity. Is that why humans express love so openly? You show it through touch, through words, even through actions? Alex smiled, surprised by how perceptive Zara was. Yes, exactly. We don't just say we love someone, we show it too. It's not always easy, but it's what makes life richer. The conversation stayed with Alex as they continued their walk. Zara seemed to be absorbing everything around her, not just the information, but the emotions, the nuances of human connection. It wasn't just about learning. It was about understanding. The next day, they sat down in a quiet cafe on the edge of the city. Zara was fascinated by the idea of human food and drink. I've never tasted anything like this, she said, tasting a cup of tea that Alex had ordered for her. It's unlike anything I know. What do you call this drink again? It's called tea, Alex replied, smiling. Humans have been drinking it for thousands of years. It's a part of many cultures. Zara's eyes widened with wonder. So you drink this ... for comfort? For relaxation? Exactly, Alex said. Tea, like many foods and drinks, is about more than just sustenance. It's about the experience, the moments we share with others. As the days went on, their time together was filled with these moments of learning and discovery. Zara was especially fascinated by how humans express their emotions. She had never encountered a species quite like humans who wore their hearts On their sleeves, so to speak, one afternoon as they sat by a riverbank, Zara asked, Alex, you've told me about human love and how you express it. But how do you know when someone loves you? Is there a sign, a feeling? Alex looked at her, a little surprised by the question. He had never really thought about it. I guess you just know. You feel it in your heart. It's not something you can explain easily, but you can sense when someone cares about you. Zara was quiet for a moment, staring at the flowing water. She seemed deep in thought. On my planet, feelings are not shown so freely, she said softly. We do not express affection the way humans do. It is difficult for us to understand. But I think I understand a little more now. Alex smiled at her. You're learning fast, Zara. I think you're starting to get it. Zara smiled back, though there was a hint of sadness in her eyes. It's hard for me to express what I feel. I think I understand love, but I do not know how to show it the way humans do. Alex's heart went out to her. He could see that. Zara wanted to understand, to connect, but her culture made it hard for her to open up emotionally. It was as if her natural instinct was to hide her feelings behind a wall, to maintain a certain distance. He reached out and gently placed his hand on hers. It's okay, Zara. Love isn't just about words or gestures. It's about how we make each other feel. Sometimes showing someone you care doesn't have to be a big, dramatic thing. It can be as simple as spending time together, listening to them, or just being there when they need you. Zara's eyes softened as she looked at their hands. She didn't pull away, and for a brief moment, she allowed herself to feel the warmth of Alex's touch. It was a small step, but it was progress. Thank you, Alex, Zara whispered, her voice soft. I think I can try. As they sat together, the world around them seemed to fade away. The gentle flow of the river, the rustling of the trees and the breeze, it all felt peaceful, like a moment frozen in time. Zara wasn't fully ready to embrace the idea of human love, but she was trying. And that was enough for now. As the days passed, Zara's curiosity about human life and emotions continued to grow. Alex had shown her the basics of human culture, but there was so much more to learn. It wasn't just about the facts. Zara wanted to understand the deeper meaning behind human experiences. She was fascinated by how humans expressed emotions, especially love. It was so different from her own species, where feelings were often hidden behind logic and duty. One evening they sat together under the stars. The air was cool, and the sky was clear, filled with twinkling lights from distant stars. They had found a quiet spot by a small lake, away from the noise of the city. Zara had asked Alex to take her there so she could see how humans relaxed after a long day. Alex smiled as he looked at the night sky. This is one of my favorite places. It's peaceful here. I think it helps me think clearly. Zara watched him, intrigued. You Earthlings really value your moments of peace, don't you? I've seen you do this often, just sitting in silence, looking at the sky. What do you think about when you're here? Alex thought for a moment, considering her question. I guess I think about everything, the future, the past, what I want out of life. Sometimes it's just nice to clear my mind and enjoy the moment. Zara nodded, looking thoughtful. We do not have this kind of peace where I come from. Our lives are busy, always filled with tasks and responsibilities. We do not have time to just ... Alex turned to her, noticing the sadness in her eyes. I get that. Sometimes I think we humans can get lost in our busy lives too. We forget to just stop and appreciate the simple things. Zara looked at him, her eyes filled with a mixture of wonder and sadness. I have never truly experienced peace like this before, she said softly. On my planet, we are always working, always striving. There is no time to just ... deal. But here, I see how you value the moments you have with each other. It makes me wonder if I've been missing something important. Alex reached out and placed his hand gently on hers. Maybe you just need time to slow down, Zara. You're learning so much and you've made great progress already. But there's no rush. Take your time. Zara smiled at him, grateful for his kindness. Thank you, Alex. I will try. As the night grew darker, they continued to talk, sharing stories about their homes, their worlds, and the things that made them happy. Zara began to open up more about her own culture, about the things she had learned during her time on Earth. She told Alex that on her planet, affection was not expressed outwardly. They didn't hug, kiss, or show physical affection in the same way humans did. Instead, they valued intellect, honor, and duty above all else. "Your world is so different from mine," Zara said. "We do not show love as you do. It is not a part of our society. But here, I see how important it is to you. It's how you connect with one another. How you build your families, how you show you care." Alex nodded. "Yeah, it's really important to us. Love is how we connect. It's why we share moments like this. It's more than just physical, it's about trust, about being there for each other." Zara's eyes shone as she listened to him. "I think I understand now. I've been learning a lot about human emotions, but I've only started to understand. Love, I see it in the way you care for people around you, the way you show affection, but it's still confusing," Alex smiled. "It's okay to be confused. Love isn't always easy to understand. It's something that grows over time. You don't have to get it all at once." Zara was silent for a while, lost in thought. She watched the ripples on the surface of the lake, her mind swirling with questions and new feelings. She wanted to understand love, but her species was not built for open affection. In her world, love was something private, something rarely discussed. But Alex had shown her that love didn't always have to be complex. It could be simple, like holding hands or sharing a quiet moment under the stars. "What if I don't know how to show it?" Zara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex turned to her, gently squeezing her hand. "You don't have to show love in a certain way. It's about how you feel. You can express it in your own way. Love doesn't have a set formula." Zara nodded slowly, the weight of his words sinking in. For the first time, she began to feel a shift in herself. Maybe she didn't need to understand everything right away. Maybe love wasn't about following a set of rules. Maybe it was about being open to new experiences and trusting her feelings. As the night grew late, Zara found herself feeling something she hadn't felt before, an overwhelming sense of peace. For the first time, she wasn't thinking about her responsibilities or her duties. She wasn't focused on what she needed to do next. She was simply enjoying the moment, enjoying Alex's company, and the quiet beauty of Earth's night sky. Before they left the lake, Alex stood and extended his hand to her. "Come on, let's head back. We'll have more time to talk tomorrow." Zara took his hand, her heart lighter than it had been in days. "I'm ready," she said softly. As they walked back to the city, Zara couldn't help but wonder if she had just taken her first true step toward understanding human love. It wasn't going to be easy, but she felt a sense of hope rising within her. Maybe, just maybe, she was starting to understand what it meant to truly connect with another person. The next morning, the sun rose over the city, casting a soft glow over everything. Alex and Zara were still adjusting to the time zone, but the fresh air and peaceful morning helped them both feel more energized. After a quick breakfast, they decided to take a walk in the park. It had become their usual routine, a time when they could talk freely without distractions. As they walked side by side, Zara asked questions, as she always did. She had grown more comfortable with Alex, and their conversations had become deeper, more personal. But today, something was different. Zara seemed unusually quiet, her expression thoughtful. Alex noticed the change. "Is something on your mind, Zara?" Zara glanced at him, her eyes filled with a mix of uncertainty and curiosity. "Alex, I've been thinking a lot about what you said the other day, about love and how humans express it. And I don't know how to ask this, but I feel like I need to understand it better. Can we talk about it more?" Alex smiled softly. He had suspected this moment would come. Zara was a thinker, and her curiosity was always leading her to deeper questions. "Of course, Zara. What's on your mind?" Zara took a deep breath before speaking. "On my planet, we do not express affection the way you do. I see humans show love in many ways, touching, smiling, holding hands, and even just being close to each other. It's something that seems so natural to you, but I struggle to understand it. Alex nodded, understanding her confusion. It's not something we always think about because it's so natural to us, but I can see how it might seem strange from the outside. Love for humans is about connection, both emotional and physical. It's about sharing moments, understanding each other, and being vulnerable. Zara looked down at her hands, her voice quiet. I think I understand the emotional part. I can see how humans form bonds with each other, how you care for those you love. But the physical part, the touch, the closeness is harder for me to grasp. I've never been comfortable with that kind of affection. Where I come from, we keep our distance, but with you, it feels different. I want to understand why it feels so important. Alex felt a warmth in his chest as he listened to her. He could see how much Zara wanted to understand, and he admired her willingness to open up. He reached out and gently touched her arm, trying to reassure her. It's okay to be confused. Love is not something you can force or rush. It's something that develops over time, and everyone experiences it in their own way. You don't have to be like everyone else. Zara met his gaze, her eyes filled with gratitude. But how do you know when you truly love someone? How do you know when it's more than just friendship or respect? Alex thought for a moment. He had never really had to explain love before. But Zara's question felt important. I think love is when you care about someone so much that you're willing to be vulnerable with them. It's not about expecting something in return. It's about wanting to make the other person feel happy, safe, and valued. You know, you love someone when you're not afraid to show them who you really are. Zara's eyes softened as she listened, the words settling in her mind. She had always seen love as a duty, something to be earned or given out of respect. But now, Alex was showing her a different side of it. Love was not a transaction. It was something that existed without conditions, without expectations. I see, Zara whispered, her voice full of wonder. So love is about being honest. With each other? About sharing your true selves, even if it's hard? Alex nodded. Exactly. It's about being open, even when it feels uncomfortable, and trust is a big part of it. Without trust, love can't grow. Zara stayed silent for a while, her gaze focused on the path ahead. She was processing everything Alex had said, trying to make sense of it all. Her world had always been about logic and structure, but Alex was showing her that there was more to life than just following the rules. There was beauty and vulnerability in the way humans opened their hearts to one another. Finally, Zara spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. I think I understand now. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you make someone feel. It's about connection and trust. Alex smiled, relieved that Zara was beginning to understand. You're right. Connection and trust are the foundation. Without those, love doesn't have a chance to grow. Zara's face softened, and for the first time, Alex saw her let her guard down completely. She wasn't the distant, intellectual alien from another planet anymore. She was someone who was beginning to embrace the messy, beautiful complexity of human emotions. It was a big step for her, and Alex felt honored to be the one guiding her through it. I'm still learning, Zara said, her voice sincere. But I think I'm ready to try. I want to understand love the way humans do. I want to learn to connect with you, Alex. To trust you. Alex's heart skipped a beat. He hadn't expected this, but in that moment he realized how deeply his feelings for Zara had grown. He cared for her more than he had ever expected, and he wanted to show her that love didn't have to be complicated. It could be simple, honest, and real. You don't have to have all the answers right away, Zara, Alex said gently. I'll be here with you, helping you through it every step of the way. Zara's eyes brightened, and she smiled. It was a small smile, but it held so much promise. For the first time, she felt the weight of her own emotions. The connection between her and Alex had shifted from mere curiosity to something deeper, something more meaningful. She wasn't just learning about human love, she was beginning to experience it. As they walked back to the city side by side, Zara felt a sense of calm she had never known before. Love, she realized, wasn't about knowing everything. It was about being open, being vulnerable, and trusting the journey. And with Alex by her side, she was ready to take that first step. The days that followed felt like a turning point in Zara's understanding of love. She wasn't sure when exactly things had started to change, but she felt different. The more she spent time with Alex, the more she saw that there was something unique about the way humans connected. It was more than just words or actions. It was a feeling that seemed to flow between people, creating a bond that wasn't always easy to describe, but was undeniable. For the first time, Zara allowed herself to embrace the uncertainty of emotions. She had always relied on logic, on understanding everything down to the smallest detail. But with Alex, she was starting to let go of the need to control every aspect of her feelings. She was beginning to experience emotions in their purest form without the need to categorize them, just letting them be. One afternoon, after a long day of exploring the city, Alex suggested they sit by a lake to unwind. It had become a tradition for them, a quiet place where they could relax and talk without any distractions. The soft sound of the water, the gentle breeze, and the peaceful surroundings made it the perfect place to clear their minds. As they sat on a bench by the water, Alex turned to Zara. "You've been quiet today," he said with a warm smile. "What's on your mind?" Zara looked out at the water, her gaze distant. She had been thinking about their conversations, about everything she had learned and felt over the past few weeks. She was still processing it all. But there was one thing that stood out above everything else, her growing feelings for Alex. "I've been thinking a lot," she began slowly, her voice softer than usual, "about how different our worlds are, about how different our cultures are. But more than that, I've been thinking about how I feel when I'm with you." Alex's heart skipped a beat. He had a feeling where this conversation was going, but he didn't want to interrupt her. Zara turned to face him, her eyes sincere. "I told you before that I was struggling to understand love. But now I think I get it. Love is not just about what you do or how you act, it's about how you make someone feel. It's about the connection you share. And when I'm with you, I feel something I've never felt before. It's comforting, and at the same time, it's new and strange. I'm starting to realize that. I think I'm starting to care for you, Alex." The words hung in the air, and Alex could hardly believe what he was hearing. His mind raced, but he didn't want to say anything too quickly. He had to be sure this wasn't just a fleeting moment. Zara was still learning, still figuring out what all of this meant. But her words felt genuine, and Alex couldn't help but smile. "I'm glad you said that," he said, his voice low and steady. "I care for you too, Zara, a lot more than I expected." Zara looked at him, her expression softening. "I'm still not completely sure what love is. It's complicated, and I don't think it's something that can be fully understood right away. But I know that when I'm with you, I feel safe. I feel like I can be myself, and I think that's a big part of it." Alex reached out and gently took her hand, offering a reassuring smile. "You don't have to have it all figured out, Zara. Love isn't about having all the answers. It's about being with someone, being there for them, and feeling that connection grow over time." Zara nodded, squeezing his hand in return. "You've been patient with me. I don't think I would have gotten this far without you. I've been so used to keeping everything inside, to focusing only on logic. But now I feel like I can trust my feelings. And I want to learn more with you." Alex smiled, feeling his heart swell. This wasn't just a simple attraction anymore. They had crossed a line, a point of no return. Zara had opened up in a way he never thought possible. It was clear that she was starting to see love not just as a concept to understand, but as something to feel and experience with another person. "You're not alone in this, Zara," Alex said. "I'm here with you, and I'm ready to take this journey with you. Whatever happens, we'll figure it out together." Zara's eyes softened, and for the first time, she felt completely at ease with Alex. She realized that love, despite all its complexities, was not something to fear. It was something to embrace, to explore, and to share with the right person. As they sat there by the lake, hand in hand, Zara began to feel a new sense of clarity. Love wasn't about fitting into a mold. It wasn't about following a set of rules or expectations. It was about being open, being real with one another, and trusting that the bond you shared would be enough to carry you through anything. The peaceful silence between them was comfortable, and neither of them felt the need to say anything more. They both understood the weight of the moment, the shift that had taken place in their relationship. Zara had come a long way from the curious, unsure alien who first landed on Earth. Now, she was starting to see the beauty in vulnerability. In opening up to someone and allowing herself to care deeply, it wasn't going to be easy. There would be challenges, misunderstandings, and cultural differences to navigate. But in that moment, sitting beside Alex, Zara knew one thing for sure: she was ready to take the next step. And so was he. The days following their heartfelt conversation by the lake felt different. There was a quiet shift in their relationship. Zara, once so guarded and unsure about human emotions, was beginning to open up in ways she never thought possible. She was still learning, still figuring out what love meant, but with each passing day she was more and more comfortable with Alex's presence. She trusted him, and for the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid to be vulnerable. Alex, too, felt a change. It wasn't just the connection he had with Zara anymore, it was something deeper. He could feel that their bond had grown stronger, more meaningful. It was no longer just about teaching her about human culture or helping her navigate the complexities of Earth. It was about them as individuals sharing something special. He cared about her in a way he hadn't expected. He found himself thinking about her more and more, wondering what the future might hold for the two of them. But despite their growing closeness, Alex knew there were still things they needed to work through. Zara's journey wasn't over yet. She had made great progress, but understanding love wasn't something that could happen overnight. It took time, and Alex was patient. He knew that Zara was still figuring out how to balance her logical side with her emotions, but that was part of what made their relationship so unique. They were learning from each other, growing together. One afternoon, Zara came to Alex with a serious expression on her face. She had been thinking a lot about what had happened between them, and she knew it was time to have another conversation. "Alex," she began, her voice quieter than usual, "I've been thinking a lot about what we talked about love, and I'm starting to understand more, but I'm also confused. I want to be honest with you." Alex looked at her, his heart racing. "What's on your mind, Zara?" Zara hesitated for a moment before continuing. "I think I'm scared. Not of you, but of love itself. I've never allowed myself to fully feel it before, and now that I do, I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I'm ready to trust it completely." Alex listened carefully, not interrupting. He could see that Zara was struggling with her feelings, and he knew that her culture had shaped her into someone who didn't express vulnerability easily. But he also knew that Zara was brave. She had already come so far in her journey. "It's okay to be scared, Zara," Alex said gently. "Love can be overwhelming sometimes, especially when it's new. But what I've learned is that love isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest and open with each other. It's about trusting that even when things are difficult, you'll be there for each other." Zara looked at him, her eyes searching his face as though she were looking for reassurance. "But what if I mess up? What if I can't give you what you need?" Alex smiled softly, taking her hand in his. "Zara, love isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. It's about learning together, supporting each other, and being there for one another. We're not going to have all the answers, but we'll figure it out together. And if you're honest with me about how you feel, that's all I need." Zara felt a wave of relief wash over her. Alex's words were comforting. She had been so focused on what she couldn't understand that she had forgotten the simplest truth of all. Love wasn't a puzzle to be solved, it was something to be lived, something to be experienced with trust and patience. "I want to try, Alex," she sighed quietly. "I want to understand love, and I want to understand it with you." Alex's heart swelled with warmth. "You're already doing it, Zara. Just by being here, just by being honest, you're already showing me more than you know." Zara smiled, feeling the weight of her fears begin to lift. She didn't have to understand everything right away. She just had to be open, and with Alex by her side, she felt like she could face whatever came next. The next few weeks were filled with small moments of growth. Zara began to embrace human expressions of affection more openly. She would hold Alex's hand when they walked, and sometimes, when the moment felt right, she would rest her head on his shoulder. It was a slow process, but every little step felt like a victory. One evening, as they sat together in their favorite spot by the lake, Zara turned to Alex with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking," she said, her voice soft. "I think I understand now? Love isn't just a feeling, it's about connection. It's about trusting someone enough to let them in, to share your world with them." Alex smiled, his heart full. "Exactly. And it's about being there for each other, no matter what." Zara looked at him, her gaze warm. "I'm not perfect, Alex. I don't know everything about human love, but I know this: I want to keep learning with you. I want to keep growing with you." Alex squeezed her hand, his smile deepening. "And I want that too, Zara. I'm not perfect either, but I know we're on this journey together, and that's what matters." They sat in silence for a few moments. The peaceful sounds of the nights around days had turned into weeks, and Alex and Zara's connection had grown stronger. They had learned so much about each other, from their different cultures to their personal dreams and fears. But most importantly, they had discovered that the true essence of their bond wasn't just about understanding each other. It was about accepting each other, flaws and all. It wasn't always easy. Zara had her doubts, and Alex sometimes worried if he was doing enough to support her. But they had come so far, and every small step they took together felt like a victory. They had built something real, a connection based not just on attraction, but on trust and vulnerability. One evening, as they sat on the balcony of the apartment they shared, the stars shining brightly above, Alex turned to Zara. "I've been thinking," he said, his voice quiet. "We've come a long way since we first met. You've learned so much about Earth, about human emotions, but I want to ask you something." Zara turned to face him, her eyes filled with curiosity. "What is it?" Alex hesitated for a moment, trying to find the right words. "Do you ever think about the future? About us and what happens next?" Zara smiled gently, her heart beating a little faster. She had been thinking about the same thing. She knew that the time would come when she would have to make a choice between staying on Earth or returning to her own planet where her people awaited her. But the idea of leaving Alex behind felt like a difficult decision, one that she wasn't ready to make just yet. "I think about it a lot," Zara admitted. "When I first arrived here, I didn't know what to expect. I was focused on my mission, learning about Earth, understanding your species. But now I see that there's more to this journey than just knowledge. There's you, Alex, and there's us." Alex's heart warmed at her words. He had suspected that Zara felt the same way, but hearing her say it made everything feel more real. He reached out and gently took her hand in his touch reassuring. "We don't have to figure everything out right now, Zara," Alex said softly. "We've made it this far together, and that's already something special. The future doesn't have to be decided today. We can take it one step at a time." Zara looked at him, her eyes filled with tenderness. She had never felt more sure of anything in her life. For the first time, she realized that love wasn't something to fear, it was something to embrace. She had opened her heart to Alex, and now she was ready to see where their journey would take them. "I know we don't have to figure it all out today," she said, squeezing his hand, "but I do know this. I don't want to lose what we have. I don't want to go back to a life where I can't feel this this connection." Alex smiled, a sense of peace washing over him. "I don't want that either, Zara, but whatever happens, we'll always have what we share right now. And that's something I'll always hold on to." Zara leaned in closer, her voice soft. "I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that no matter where I go, no matter what happens, you'll always be a part of me." Alex's heart skipped a beat as he looked into her eyes. In that moment, he realized that it wasn't about the future, it was about the here and now. The love they shared was real, and it was enough. It didn't matter if the future was uncertain or if they came from different worlds. What mattered was the bond they had built together, and the trust they had developed. "I'll always be here for you, Zara." Alex said, his voice filled with sincerity. "And no matter what happens, I'll never forget the moments we've shared. You've changed my life in ways I can't even explain." Zara smiled, her eyes shining with emotion. "And you've changed mine, Alex. You've shown me what it means to truly connect with someone, to love without fear. And that's something I'll carry with me no matter where I go." They sat together, side by side, watching the stars twinkle above them. The night felt peaceful, as if the universe itself was giving them a quiet blessing. For the first time in a long time, Zara felt at home. She didn't need to understand everything or have all the answers. What she needed was here, in this moment, with Alex by her side. As the night drew on, they shared quiet conversations, their laughter filling the air. They didn't need to talk about the future or what would happen next. They were content in the present, knowing that the love they shared was enough to carry them through whatever challenges lay ahead. The future would come, and they would face it together. But for now, they were content to be with each other, to explore the world around them, and to see where their connection would take them. It was a journey that had only just begun, and they were both ready for it.